Welcome back to another Take Two quick review here on the Take Two Podcast YouTube channel. We'd love having you guys here. Thank you very much. If you are not a subscriber just yet, just boop, quick below that subscribe button. We appreciate that. Tell your friends and loved ones to do the same. What we're going to do with these, you already know, is just the same things you hear on the podcast, but here you get to listen again. And look, usually you'll just be getting my take or Tony's take or maybe a little bit of a combo, but this is just another avenue for you guys to check out our quick reviews. The more in-depth and lengthy ones, of course, are over on the podcast feed. Subscribe, download, jump onto iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spotify, you name it. That's where our podcast can be found. Don't forget the socials at Take Two Podcast for Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and that Facebook has that group page. Lots of fan interaction there. We would love to have you guys along. Hit us up, 434-602-1931. Give us a call. No one's going to answer, but we'll just take that voicemail. Or if you want to text us, how very 2020 of you, and shoot us your message and your thoughts. We would love to hear from you. Okay, enough of that kind of stuff. Let's get into the Take Two quick review of Connected, a hidden science of everything. Ready to nerd out? You need to be to watch this one. And I mean that in a cool way, because this is some deep, divey, nerdy kind of stuff. 6 episodes. They're available on Netflix. Latif Nasser is your host. And he is, like, when you first look at him, he looks like that hipster guy that's like at a vegan coffee bar in the back corner, like type deal. But nah, he's a cool dude. He's very funny. He's very intelligent. And it emulates through all of his conversations with everything that he does with these apps. These are mainly all about the connectivity of science. Like, where do we go that connects us as a people, as a community, as a culture, as a world in the ways that you wouldn't imagine? Everything between the dust in the Sahara and how that affects the rainforest and how that affects the Gulf of Mexico, all about how your poop could get mixed in with the Queen's poop, and then my poop and our poops can get together and create good things for the earth. He explains it a little bit better than I, but each episode is individualized towards certain things. There's one all about facial recognition. How creepy can facial recognition be? Like all the apps and everything that you're on right now. You're watching me. I'm watching you. Maybe. Am I? You got to watch the show to find out. But that's what it's all about. It uses all that kind of technology to gather your info and gather things all about you and whatnot. And there's even this couple that does a pig facial recognition to help their livestock, so that way they don't have to like tag their ears and do the inhumane way. It's really cool. The stuff about the dust in the Sahara coming across the ocean and then affecting the rainforest and then the Gulf. Like, it's very intricate, very wild stuff, and you get so into it and you're like, wow, this is some nerdy stuff here, very scientific, but at the same time, it is cool as crap to be listening to this kind of stuff, because you're like, you know, this is stuff that we need to be learning about because it's wild. The one that blows my mind the most, and I talked about this on episode 200, that's where you can find our full review on the podcast, EP 200. Download, subscribe today once again. There's birds in Delaware, these mini finches. I'm going to say finches, and that's wrong. Latif Nasser would know the answer. You should hit him up. But they leave to go migrate, usually like in August. But sometimes they'll leave in June. And the guy studying them up in Delaware was like, why? Why do they leave 2 months early? That's kind of weird. Through a process of studying them and monitoring and tracking, whatever, found out that whenever they left in June, it meant that we were in for some really bad hurricanes come at the end of August, September. How do these birds in Delaware know that kind of crap? That's insane to me. That's absolutely insane. That's what the show is all about. Like wild stuff like that. The interconnectivity of science, and just, you know, that's why it's called Connected, a hidden science of everything. It's really cool. You know, you go deep diving into some wild stuff, and I think you guys would enjoy it if you get into any of that kind of scientific things, the earth and the environment, and not tree hugging environment types of. I'm not going that route. It's just like, how does Mother Nature affect us? How do you affect Mother Nature? And how do you affect someone who lives in China just by flushing your commode? Wild, right? They talk about all that kind of thing. Again, I'm not going to go too deep on here. You have to go on to Take Two Podcast's episode 200 to get my full review. I chat with it about Tony a little bit. He has some great questions and some good insight as well, because he hadn't seen it yet. And I hope I talk you guys into watching it. 6 eps. They're all 30 minutes-ish. Netflix, knock it out today. Connected. Hidden Science of Everything. When you guys are done with that, don't forget to subscribe, rate, and review our show, not only the podcast, but also our YouTube show. Let us know how we're doing here. We would love to hear from you guys. That's it for me, Brian. Take Two Podcasts.